Hello, this is Solar PV TV from Intersolar Middle East 2016. And now we are together with Nabih Cherradi, who is CTO of Desert Technologies. But also, even he's so young, he's one of the solar pioneers. Hello, bonjour.
Bonjour, Thomas.
So, Nabih, what brings you here actually for Intersolar Middle East?
Well, my history with Intersolar, generally speaking, is very long. It starts since many years. I always participate at their events as a chair of the session, moderator of panels, or also speakers for different subjects regarding mainly the manufacturing. And I came here to attend of course, the events, which is one of the largest events in the region, and important for us as Desert Technology company, and as well as to meet with different supplier, manufacturer, and so on.
And all the people from the region, yeah?
And all the people on the region, exactly. I met, indeed, they even discovered some companies that they didn't know before about. And they are going on manufacturing, and they are doing something in the sense of the development also.
So, Nabih, we are speaking for our series Solar Pioneers in Private. So I would like to start first with the question. You have to, come back with your memories far away in the time. So when you were a child, what was your dream? Whom would you like to become when you were a child?
Well, very difficult.
No, let's go.
Very difficult and tricky question. Well, when I was a child, I wanted just to live and travel. That was really my goal in the life. And even when I left my hometown, Morocco, in the beginning, it was just for traveling rather than doing other things. And I traveled and I studied. And once I finished my study, it was material science. So material science brings you anywhere, everywhere. And I start working in material as scientist. And then by chance I was working in hard metals. I got in touch for the equipment and mainly for wafering. And as also my background was thin film. So it has nothing to do with the crystalline, but even though it's photovoltaic. So I joined the company. It was at that time HCT in Switzerland, wire saw makers. And we developed first the work, and the business was prosperous for semiconductor industry until the solar starts by the mid of the 90s and the early of 2000, where our business turned to the solar. And since then, I'm in the solar.
So how many years actually?
Well, I would say maybe 20 years.
Wow, 20 years. So you were working at HCT, yes, and then I remember that we met first time in 2007 or something like this. You were managing the production, setting up the production of Yingli, yes?
Yes, I used after HCT. I left HCT in end of 2006, beginning of 2007, and I joined Yingli as VP manufacturing and CTO, mainly responsible for the expansion because, in that time, the companies were set up and they were looking for fast expansion. So at that time, it was 95 megawatt. And when I left after 2 years and a half, it were almost 600 megawatt, vertically integrated.
So they say that you were one of the guys who was helping the Chinese industry to grow, yeah, and to expand.
Well, that's for sure, because we were the first to install the equipment and production line in China by late 90s, and we had, I would say, over 80% of market share at that time. And of course, after us, others they came into the business with the new equipment. But most of the gigawatt companies today, they were our customer, and we started them from scratch. Yingli, we started the company in 2002 with 3 megawatt vertically integrated production, and at that time it was one of the largest capacity in the world. And then LDK came, Trina.
Today it's nothing almost, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Today it's rather than 3 megawatt is 3 gigawatt minimum.
Up to 6, yeah?
up to 6 or 7, of course.
So Nabi, and then you started your adventure with desert technologies, yes?
Yes, and when I left Yingli, it was to develop my own projects in France. Unfortunately, I left in 2009. 2009 was
It was
tough
quite
year.
tricky year.
It's a tough year for everything, including the solar. And even if the solar was continuously, I would say, increasing, developing, it was really tough. And unfortunately,
It was the time of the industry shakeout, yeah?
and this checkout, it was the start also for the consolidation phase. It was quite difficult, and also I went to France, and unfortunately I didn't know that it's extremely difficult, nearly impossible to set up any production industry in France.
Même si tu parles français.
Même si je parle français, even if I had a very good contact at the highest level, it was extremely difficult to raise money at that time. So I was obliged to give up. Unfortunately for me, I got in touch with Desert Technology at its start, nearly immediately after, and they had exactly the same idea and the same mind to develop manufacturing and go through the entire value chain from the raw materials, polysilicon, to delivering the kilowatt hours. We are the manufacturer under the company named DT Lab. We also we have a company that developed the project, and we do the EPC ourselves.
And you would like to also be at the end IPP for some of the projects?
Of course, this is what we had for the first round in Jordan with Amman. We were in the consortium in a project, Man project, with 23.2 megawatt.
I would like to ask you also if you have time for the private life, and if you have, what you are doing actually.
The private life, it's a laugh. Well, I'm living between Switzerland, and which is my hometown, and Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, Saudi Arabia, I just work. But in Switzerland, there's my family there, so I'm traveling back and forth.
And your family is also a bit related to solar, or completely not?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My two kids. My son is mainly trade-oriented for raw materials, and my daughter just started her university last week in London.
We are meeting on different continents actually, because you are active in different organizations. You are, I think, chairman of the SNEC conference for the technical part, yes? So could you tell us more a bit, not only just about desert technologies, but also your activities in the, let's say, solar community?
Since I finished my PhD, and since then I'm active in different organizations. We met the first time when we met, it was at EPIA meeting in Rome. That was some time ago, and through SNEC, because I lived in China, I worked for Yingli in that time, so Yingli is a golden sponsor for SNEC. So I got in touch with them, and since the beginning, and I am a technical advisor of SNEC organization and also as acting as their European representative. SNEC is one of the largest, it's the largest organization for the show.
Great boss, yeah, MIUE.
Of course. Without MIUE, I guess it would not be any SNEC.
Yes. In few bullet points, which are the markets, in your opinion, that we should keep eye on, and which will be the markets which will be driving the MENA region in the next years to come?
Well, without any doubt, no hesitation, is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the largest country in the region, with the surface, with the population of over 30 million people, and the need is huge. And as we know here in the MENA region, the need power need increases yearly by more than 8%. And of course, Saudi Arabia is going to represent one of the largest, not only in the region, but worldwide markets in the coming years.
And what is important actually, let's say, in making business in MENA region? Because you you have your roots from the MENA region, but you were traveling around the globe, so you can compare. You have great comparison if you compare to different regions. What is specific? What is the recipe of making business here in the MENA region?
One of the things that I would say making the business in the MENA region is we have to understand the culture of the people. And this is a very important point. Here, if we want to do the business in MENA region, we have to learn how to get patient. It's a matter of time. As for instance, the market here, the question is not if it's gonna start, it's just when it's gonna start. And through that, I want to say one important thing. That's the people worldwide and the developer, international developer, they are always, I would say, in a very hurry manner, which is not correct, because if we look into the history of the solar, none of the countries worldwide start immediately after they made the announcements. Japan, they took, roughly speaking, 4 years, about 4 years. Germany was the second country to start with the feed-in tariff, and it took more than 5 years. France, around 6 to 7 years. So for each project and each country, they took time. But after that, of course, that the people get always in a rush and wants the things that happen. And when it comes to the region, aside the fact that the government have to develop their mind to be ready to accept and to make that huge changes, because we should not forget that the power production here is mainly based on natural gas or oil, while elsewhere is completely different. It's coal, nuclear, and so on. More than that they do have the raw materials. They are producer of the oil and the gas. So for them, it's not a problem. The power is not a problem. But today the question is, and especially with the price drop and the future and the environment concerns.
And also so cheap price, yeah, like you heard in Abu Dhabi, yeah? 2.4 cents per kilowatt hour. So very soon we will be even cheaper than gas, yeah?
Exactly. Well, today we are competitive. We are competitive against any form of fuel fossil. Any form with these prices, which are, that one is 242. The previous one with DIWA was 299. So of course that we have the grid parity. We have the grid parity. But the things and the cost here is somehow, I would say, fake, because it's subsidized. It's heavily subsidized. The barrier is used at its cost, and of course that it makes the cost of the electricity very, very cheap for the population. But if we just change the mind of subsidizing, of course there's no more question about solar competitiveness. The market already starts here since a few years with the DIWA projects, and now it's Abu Dhabi. It was before Abu Dhabi, it was Jordan, and then Egypt. Saudi Arabia will start sooner or later. It's gonna start.
Yes, and your company will be present and will be helping to grow solar in the country. Yeah?
We are ready. We are ready for Saudi markets as well as other markets, so for sure. But we established the company with the mind to, I would say, serve the Saudi market at first. And the idea of establishing manufacturing in Saudi Arabia is to consider the local content, and not only the local content separately, but the module, the Saudi module. And this is our plan. And this is what we are doing now.
Okay, Nabih, thank you so much. It was in private, but as always, as we are so solar involved people, we a bit switched topic also to the business. But it was our first discussion, and see you next time on different corner of the world, realizing your dream from childhood, yes, which was traveling. Thank you so much. That was Solar PV TV together with Nabih Cherradi, one of the solar pioneers, friends, and people who are telling us that we have to be patient in terms of making business in MENA, but it will come for sure. Thanks for watching.